Alright, so instead of showing my pretty face, I'm gonna show this because it's a lot more pretty. So I want to talk about what happened this past week. This past week, I've been really sick for 14 going on 15 months. The cough and the stuff like that for about 10 weeks, the last 10 weeks. For the last 14 months, my body completely changed, late February, mid-February, late February of 2020. I had exposure to the virus at a meatpacking plant in Colorado that was eventually shut down. Several hundred positive cases, at least 8 deaths that I know of. And from there, I got really no medical treatment. Our president came out sometime around the same time and gave us a loose treatment protocol that everybody made fun of, and then there became a war on said protocol. And I wasn't able to see a doctor for 4 months, and even at that time, the doctors didn't do anything for me, or even take into consideration that the virus could be causing symptoms that have prolonged for that 4-month period, and which have continued for 14 months. At my soccer club, we've got a saying that says, "Do what your body will allow." And I've never taken that more seriously than I have this past year. My daughter, even through this time, she knows I love to hike and come to these beautiful places and do these things, and I've known my body wouldn't allow it. I pretty much felt like, I was on my path to the grave, albeit slow, but just a definite path, and I really didn't see a lot of hope for coming back from it. Well, finally, I did the teledoc, and he just so happened to prescribe the Z-Pak, the erythromycin, which was one of the parts of the protocol that our president tried to throw out there early on. Mixed that with some prednisone, and literally, I've never been so happy and mad in the same moment. I literally, within 12 hours, felt better than I had in 14 months. Within a day, I wanted to go out there and compete. I wanted to hike. I was ready to fight. I was like, what in the world? How can this be so different, that easy, that simply? And talking about that protocol, the number one part of it that they really went against just so happened to be what they used to prophylactically treat so you didn't get malaria for your entire life. And then when a doctor, like an actual doctor, not these fake doctors that all of us have been talking to and listening to on Facebook, these pill pushing hustlers, the treatment protocol that they've been using is actually half that dosage. But all of a sudden it's just deadly and dangerous and has to be taken off of social media, and so it'd be hard to comprehend why they'd want that to happen so bad. But needless to say, there's been some things that have helped me over this past year or so, and I figured I might as well share some of them. Through that first 4 months, I drive, and I love the mountains, and I try to go to sleep somewhere that I know is going to be beautiful in the morning. I really love what God has done with this place, and I enjoy being somewhere amazing every day. But the problem is, a lot of these places are at a higher elevation, and just being at that higher elevation, If I try to go to bed at night, I'll gasp for air and I can barely breathe. I can't even get to sleep. I'm paranoid that I'm not even going to wake up. So it's been a little bit harder for this last year. And I ended up getting the tonic water. The tonic water contains quinine, which is the kind of where the drug they won't allow you to use or say on social media comes from. And literally, I mean, it wasn't like a long-term thing, but literally it gave me the energy that I hadn't had the previous 4 months and allowed me to feel better enough to, accomplish some things for the first time in months. And so I liked it. So there's something to the quinine tonic water, deal. I mean, I don't believe it's a cure by any means, but it is. They talk as that part of it being the gun and the other medicines being the bullet. So it's just a tool to maybe get the nutrients that we need into our body. And then another one that has been helpful, and this is just of recent, was the pomegranate juice. And I had talked to a guy for my soccer club, I think a couple years ago. And it was good for blood flow. And I know with this thing, there feels like an oxygen, depletion, like your body's just not getting what it needs. And taking that drink of pomegranate juice every night, made me feel, manly again and made me feel a little bit healthier. And this was before I just talked to the doctor this week. So I would definitely suggest that. And most important, we've been a nation, for the last at least 20 years, if not longer. We're getting lazy in our eating habits and our cooking, and me especially. I love, real ingredients, so it's not like I have problems eating it. My youngest son, if it didn't come out of a wrapper, he doesn't really even like it. So we need to change that. We need to eat more real foods, get real nutrients into our body. The things that help us start feeding our body what it's missing. And so I just suggest as many fruits and vegetables you can get, meats that don't come pre-processed and have batter already on them. Let's stay away from anything with that shiny wrapper on the inside. I know years ago, DuPont came under some heat, that silvery, shiny wrapper that's inside a Snickers bar or a Doritos bag, allegedly was causing cancer. And I mean, what doesn't cause cancer now, so let's just stay away from the packaged stuff. Maybe get your berry juice and splash a little tonic water on it every now and again. Make sure those nutrients are getting into our body properly. I mean, I'm not going to say that I got the cure-all, but if you happen to get sick or you've been feeling bad or you've been, affected by this virus in a negative way and you can tell a difference in your body, we got to be a little more forceful with these doctors and let's get this Z-Pack, and they're not going to give you the other stuff you need. So just get the tonic. Let's put it in our body. Let's feel better. Let's prepare for what comes next. Let's get strong. Let's start to rebuild. This is going to be a year that we start rebuilding. Let's start with ourselves. Let's really work on ourselves and try to live a happier, healthier lifestyle. Let's go out into nature and realize that we don't have to be afraid and hide anymore. Let's see what's out there. Let's notice that we're free and we're in God's world. We're not in this man's world that has been imposed on us and put in front of these little screens that we watch all day. There's a real world out there that is beautiful and amazing, and let's enjoy it. Happiness is the best cure to anything. Emotions can positively affect our body and negatively. So if we're feeding the wrong emotion, we're definitely eating the wrong medicine, psychologically. So let's look for the good in the world, and let's look for the good in people. I think the biggest problem with these people that have ill will against us is they've underestimated the goodness of man and woman, for sure. And I just really look forward to what comes next. I think people are seeing a new way forward. I think people are seeing that they can trust themselves. They don't have to look to these other people. That they can trust in their own heart, their own mind. They don't have to read the brochure and say, "Oh, it's just the science. It's just the science." Oh my God! Every time I hear that, I want to choke somebody. You know, they use these things, the science and this proven vaccine, and you just look. All you got to do is look at Zantac. You know, proved in like 1986 and used all the way up until a couple years ago, until they decide, oh, maybe the science was wrong and this is actually going to kill you. So let's do what we know works. You know, I mean, we've survived for thousands of years without these crazy chemicals, and let's try to, you know, put a little pressure on our politicians to stop this madness and this experimentation with viruses and poisons and drugs and this insanity. You know, I mean, just because we can make something surely doesn't mean we should. You know, these people are playing God. These people are messing with our health and our security and our safety for I don't know if it's a psychotic reason or they're crazy or just because they can, you know. Um, but let's put a little pressure on our local up, you know. Stop this madness. Let's get out there and enjoy each other's company. Enjoy the scenery. Love your neighbor. Love your God. And spank your children regular so they clean their room. I'm just teasing with that one. But yes, so please, 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 positive attitudes. Enjoy life. Get out there. All right.